Brace yourself for an animal so monstrous, it's named after one of the most formidable predatory creatures in Greek mythology. And it's armed with enough natural weaponry when it takes to the sky, everything below needs to run for its life. It's the Harpy Eagle, genetically programmed to seek and destroy any prey it targets. With a wingspan substantially longer than the average height of a human, it can also fly as fast as a speeding car. How does this apex predator make a meal of any animal, no matter the size? What indigenous defense mechanisms have some of its favorite victims developed? Who would come out on top in a harpy versus human battle? Strolling through the Amazon rainforest? Look up, way up. If you've packed binoculars and a lucky rabbit's foot, you might spot the nest of a pair of harpy eagles anywhere from 27 to 43 meters in the canopy above you. It's a sight you won't ever forget, since it'll be 1.2 meters thick and 1.5 meters across, with a lining made of greens and fur. It might also be guarded by two of the planet's strongest eagles, packing talons larger than a grizzly bear's claw, up to 13 centimeters in size. The harpy eagle also mates for life, so you might be making eye contact with animals that weigh up to 11 kilograms and have been ridiculously efficient hunting partners for over 30 years. One thing is for certain with this encounter: those harpy eagles and the feather crest atop their heads saw you long before you saw them. That's because these stealthy airborne attackers can spot something an inch long from nearly 200 meters away. It's an ability that comes in handy when a territorial harpy parent is on the prowl for dinner for its chick. As one parent guards the nest, the other will scan an area for snakes, porcupines, and armadillos. The female harpy, which is often twice the size of the male, is even capable of using brute force to grab sloths and monkeys from the rainforest canopy. Putting its 2-meter wingspan to good use, an adult howler monkey is no match for the lifting power of the muscular legs and piercing talons belonging to this Amazon raptor. Just ask the very vocal howlers living on Panama's Barro Colorado Island, a biological reserve. In 1999, 2 tagged harpy eagles were released on the island as part of a study. Scientists wanted to see how the howler monkeys living there would react to predators after being unchallenged for decades. For the island's newest residents, part of a species that prefers living in isolation in the same territory for years if possible, it was like a heavenly primate buffet. Using their flight speed that can reach up to 80 kilometers per hour, the 2 harpy eagles feasted on unsuspecting howlers at will. Until the howlers devised a defensive strategy, that is. Already known for their repertoire of ear-piercing screams, the Barro Colorado Island howlers developed a new warning call they'd unleash whenever they heard the ominous screech a harpy eagle lets out prior to attacking. The result was the harpy's potential prey scattering, while also scaring off the would-be attacker with their own alarm signals. So these particular harpy eagles were a little spooked on the island, but why is it this, one of the most powerful birds on the planet, is listed as a near-threatened species? Unfortunately, humans have a natural ability for obliterating the regions harpy eagles usually call home for their entire lives. Combine this with poachers selling their feathers and impressive claws, and we become the one animal the harpy eagle doesn't stand a chance against. So, who's going to tell them that the frog they're holding secretes some of the most deadly toxins on Earth? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you might want to leave these psychedelic amphibians alone.
What am I supposed to do now?
While some animals sting or bite, a dart frog's poison is simply on their skin. Just one innocent touch can kill you. Poison dart frogs are only 2.5 centimeters in size, but their kaleidoscopic skin colors make them hard to miss. From bright blues to rousing reds, they know how to stand out. These frogs have evolved their aposematic coloration as a fair warning to anything that might want to mess with a dart frog, telling them to back off. They're the fashion icons of rainforests from Brazil to Costa Rica. The frogs secrete a milky substance that contains batrachotoxin. It's a deadly neurotoxin that attacks the nervous system. If you brush up against a dart frog, you go from paralysis to cardiac arrest in a matter of minutes. The poison's chemical makeup stops your muscles from communicating with your brain. Quick, someone's got to tell all the princesses out there that this is one frog they shouldn't kiss. One smooch would be the kiss of death. Even an amount of poison as small as 2 grains of salt is enough to kill a 68-kilogram person. No wonder some Amazonian hunters use dart frog secretions on the ends of weapons. It pretty much ensures a kill. In particular, one golden poison dart frog has enough secretions to kill 10 people. This species lives in the Colombian rainforest and is the most dangerous dart frog of them all. But dart frogs aren't born covered in deadly poison, ready to kill anyone who dares come near. Unlike most dangerous amphibians who create their poison internally, dart frogs acquire theirs through their diet. They eat an ant species which contains toxic alkaloid molecules, and they don't let any part of this meal go to waste. Poison dart frogs store the molecules in their glands and synthesize them into poison. After all, I guess you are what you eat.
It's time to put the ranch away.
Can you believe that despite all this, some people keep these lethal leapers as pets? Because their poison comes from what they eat, you can neutralize a dart frog by feeding it a strict diet of non-toxic insects. It's safe to handle a poison dart frog if it only eats bugs like fruit flies and crickets. But if you live in Hawaii or British Columbia, Canada, you'd be breaking the law if you kept a dart frog as a pet. These laws protect poison dart frogs and society at large. I don't even want to imagine what would happen if poisonous frogs overran our world. But due to deforestation, poison dart frogs are in danger of extinction. Their habitat is slipping out from under their tiny webbed feet. The humid environment is crucial to their survival, yet swathes of rainforest are slashed every year. Life's rough out there if you're just a little frog, even if the skin you're in has the power to kill. There's another cute, colorful, and deadly amphibian lurking through the treetops. You can meet the boomslang in this video. Using their brightly colored bodies to warn predators and secreting super potent toxins are what poison dart frogs do. And that's what makes them crazy creatures. This little white cotton ball looks like it flew straight out of a Miyazaki movie. Though it may be hard to believe, it's not a cartoon character. Unlike their gigantic relatives, the golden-crowned flying fox of the Philippines, the Honduran white bat, is bite-size. But don't bite them. Honduran white bats are so cute that they've even been called living marshmallows. How small are these critters? Where do they live? And are they endangered? Honduran white bats are one of the 2 white bat species among the roughly 1,300 bat species. Typically, other bats are brown or black. The Honduran white bats are also one of the smallest frugivore bats, meaning they eat only fruit. Specifically, they only eat figs. Go figure. Researchers discovered that their diet of figs led to a buildup of carotenoid pigment, which gives their ears and noses their distinct bright orange-yellow color. What's more, Honduran white bats are the only mammal known to possess such an abundance of this chemical. The bat's ability to store carotenoid pigment has made scientists curious. Many researchers believe that learning more about this ability could lead to new treatments for avoiding a common and often untreatable eye disorder called macular degeneration. On average, these little creatures are about 3 to 5 centimeters long, and they weigh about 5 to 6 grams, about as much as 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. Aw, so sweet. They enjoy the steamy rainforests of Central and South America, living in biodiverse countries like Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica. They tend to inhabit areas that are up to 700 meters above sea level. Another of the bat's many unique attributes is their shelter. During the day, they huddle together beneath the leaves of heliconia plants in so-called leaf tents. To build these tents, the ingenious bats bite the plant's leaves to make them fold down. Heliconia plants are sensitive to movement, and they act as an alarm system when predators like snakes, owls, and possums come slinking around for a bite-sized white bat snack. In addition to keeping them safe from rain, wind, and parasites like bat flies, these leaf tents also provide camouflage. The sunlight filters through the leaves and makes their white fur appear green. Brilliant. But they don't always want to be camouflaged. The bat's white fur and orange ears and noses attract other bats when it's time to mate. And they use their sensitive leaf-shaped noses to communicate with other bats through touch and echolocation. Unfortunately, less canopy cover due to deforestation is radically changing the bat's environment. Even nature preserves, like La Selva, the largest reserve in Costa Rica for Honduran white bats, are threatened. Because of this habitat loss, often caused by agriculture and urban development, the Honduran white bat is rated a near-threatened species by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. According to conservationists, there are no programs or legislation to help the adorable Honduran white bat. Their survival currently depends on environmental groups and governments halting deforestation and enacting reforestation. It would be a tragedy if the world lost this adorable living marshmallow. But at least there's still hope. Come on, people, pull it together. Being fluffy, adorable, and making leaf tent houses is what Honduran white bats do. And that's what makes them crazy creatures. If you thought seeing a lion take down a gazelle was violent, check out this giant bird absolutely destroying a defenseless frog. This is the southern ground hornbill, and you do not want to be its next meal. These predators feast on all kinds of creatures, including some you'd never imagine a bird could chow down on. With their black feathers, red neck casques, and dangerous-looking curved bills, these birds look like turkeys from hell. The southern ground hornbill lives across the continent of Africa. With a wingspan of 1.2 meters and standing 90 to 110 centimeters tall, these raven-feathered birds are an impressive sight. You can recognize the males by their bright red necks. The females have a dark violet patch in the same place. Both sexes have blue eyes circled by short, dense red feathers. They like to live in grasslands and woodlands with plenty of trees to make their nests in. They can fly, but they don't go up in the air as often as many other types of birds. They prefer staying low to the ground so that they can hunt. And do they know how to hunt? Ground hornbills are omnivores. They eat some seeds and berries, but they really enjoy eating meat. They'll feast on rodents, rabbits, and even small monkeys if they can catch one. Hornbills get their name from the huge hooked bill that makes them such terrifying predators. These incredibly sharp and powerful beaks are perfect for stabbing through a reptile's skin or chopping at a hard tortoiseshell to get to the meat within. It isn't a quick death either. Hornbills are known to toss their food around before finally swallowing it whole. They don't have teeth, so this violent dinner dance helps them kill or stun the unfortunate entree, which might still be alive as it makes its way down the big bird's throat. I have never wanted to be a lizard less than I do right now.
I hate my life.
I hate your life too, dude.
Fortunately for us, these birds have never been known to attack humans. Their loud and unique call would tell you if one was nearby, giving you plenty of time to run away. Southern ground hornbills have a few different calls, but the most interesting is this low, deep grunt that sounds like it belongs at the bottom of the ocean. They use the hollow casque on top of their beaks to amplify the sound so animals can hear it up to 2 kilometers away. This helps them defend their territory, which can span up to 100 kilometers or more. Even though they're territorial, these birds are surprisingly friendly about mating and community living. They practice cooperative breeding and live in groups of up to 11 birds. The group contains a dominant male and female that breed, and a handful of helper males who defend the parent birds and their chicks from predators. They and the younger birds help feed the breeding family. It's a good thing they work like this because these birds aren't making many babies. A female will typically lay 1 or 2 eggs. Once they hatch, they have to start fighting for food immediately. Usually, only 1 chick survives for longer than a few months. And they don't breed every year, so only 1 chick is raised every 6 years. Some varieties of hornbills take breeding so seriously that the male seals the female into her nest while she lays and hatches their eggs. This keeps her safe from hunters. Southern ground hornbills don't do that, but their system of cooperative breeding provides a lot of security. Check out this video for another bird that hunts snakes and lizards by stomping on them. And they have some seriously killer eyelashes. They sound a bit like mini submarines and use their dangerously sharp bills to annihilate their prey. And that's what makes southern ground hornbills crazy creatures. Get ready for a cuteness overload. Just look at how this little rascal prances through the grass. Meet the stoat. These adorable woodland creatures are found across Europe, Canada, and as far north as Alaska. What if I told you that stoats can take down prey twice their size? They're pretty much tiny death machines. Not so cute all of a sudden, huh? Since they're so small, they have to use every tool in their arsenal while hunting, which surprisingly includes dancing. The stoat jumps high in the air and twists its body all around. They pretend to ignore their prey altogether, totally focused on their entertaining show. This is not just because they're passionate performers. The stoat hopes their showmanship will enthrall potential prey. Their dance distracts and disorients prey, putting them in a hypnotic trance. Then they can catch them off guard and pounce. For the grand finale, they jump onto the back of their prey, biting them right where their neck meets their skull. Talk about dinner and a show. This technique works especially well on rabbits. They're easily dazed and confused by the theatrics, but can sometimes escape even after being bitten. I mean, most of the time they slink away and die anyway. Stoats don't have a powerful bite, and their teeth are quite small. For a mouse, death by stoat bite is instantaneous, but rabbits have thick neck muscles that are hard to penetrate. Researchers think that rabbits die of fright more than anything else. The traumatic act literally scares them to death. Stoats are not just brilliant dancers, they also have stellar senses. They can sniff out the exact route voles and mice have traveled. Did you hear that? Well, a stoat would. Their close-set ears are able to pick up high frequencies, which means they can detect even the slightest rustle in the bushes. You might think this little bundle of fur wouldn't eat much, but they often kill a surplus of food and store it away for later. In Greenland, the remains of 150 lemmings were found in one stoat hideaway. No one tell them about Costco. Stoats prefer fresh meat, but rely on their stockpile if the pickings become sparse. They are relentless hunters and will travel far and wide to track down their next meal. But hey, they aren't just vicious killing machines. The stoat's signature moves are also associated with play. In Scotland, it was observed that they continue to cut a rug even when they're not hunting. They truly dance like no one's watching, or jump like no one's watching for that matter. But their life is not just one big song and dance. Sometimes they're the ones being hunted. Eagles and hawks have an advantage because of their aerial view. Foxes also pose a threat. They sneak up on stoats and can easily overpower them. Humans, however, are their biggest predator. For centuries, their white pelts have been prized among hunters, and they are a coveted luxury item in the fashion world today. The most valuable stoats are those who live in colder climates. Their coats turn white in the winter to blend into the snowy environment. Ironically, their camouflage puts a target on their back. Fortunately, they have a secret weapon. They store musk in muscular sacs under their tail. It's a thick, oily substance that has an unpleasant smell, and that's putting it lightly. A scared stoat releases their stench, hopefully giving them enough time to run away. Some trappers refer to this defense mechanism as a stink bomb. Ugh. The stoat's agility is a family trait. We have a whole video about their relative, the giant otter, who can successfully take down caiman. Hypnotizing prey with their dance and setting off stink bombs are what stoats do, and that's what makes them crazy creatures.